The Drake Michigan podcast is sponsored by Masterpiece, the nano heavy metal detox miracle. Start your journey to freedom from toxins, heavy metals, graphene and forever chemicals. For more information and to purchase this miracle product, see the description below.
Right, well, welcome to the Drake Michigan podcast, and we're nice to welcome Mr. Andrew Harby from Frequency 101, based in Shropshire, an energy healer. Now, I'm a Reiki master, so I'm really keen to learn more about what Andrew does, because I know it's different. I've had a little look, but I don't know enough, so I'm a complete novice. So this is going to be a great introduction, and yeah, tell me all about it, Andrew. There's something that you do that's very different to other energy healers that I've come across. So please let me know what you're doing.
Okay, what I'm doing is I'm actually connecting with the universal energies of consciousness of everybody I have a interaction with.
Right.
We are all vibration, we are frequency, we are information, and we are light. So with this, we can actually, it's like telepathically, like getting in contact with people with their energy source, though. It's not like with the mind, talking to the mind or anything like that. It's actually just in connecting with their energy. And what I do then, I take them what I call to the gateway, to the doorway of the universe.
Right.
And once they're there, and I know that they're there because either the eyes are going to start to flicker a little bit, the fingers are going to start twitching, or the legs might start moving, or they might just start to, the body might distort in different positions and everything else. So I know that they're there. I'm feeling the energy being pulled out of me.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very unusual feeling. Very, very unusual. When it first started, I found it very hard to get my head around.
Right. Okay.
I really, really did, because it's not something what I've been taught.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah. Okay. So you've never been taught it. It's just happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I've done trainings before.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. Then when COVID hit, you know, the universe, they're like, you have a dream and somebody like talks to you within that dream.
Yeah.
And basically it came out and it said to me, why are you using modalities for? Why can't you trust me? You always want to work for me, so why aren't you trusting me? So in a way, I had to strip myself naked, consciously, spiritually, and I had to basically leave myself wide open for people to really throw spears at me, like saying, you know, you're not the real deal, you're not this, you're not the other, not like. But it hasn't happened. People what have been involved with me, they've had plenty and plenty of wild moments, and there isn't one healing what's the same as anybody else's. It's always different. Every experience somebody has, it's different.
So in essence, really, because as I know now, I did an attunement to angelic Reiki. Now, I just see all that as labels personally. You know, I'm still a conduit to source energy and love, effectively. I know when I do Reiki, I just feel love coming through me, and I'm transferring it to the individual that's requiring a treatment. And it's hard to get out the way sometimes, and trust that process as well, because your ego gets in the way, that your programming that you've had all your life, and you're like, well, this don't really happen, does it? You know what I mean? So I can imagine. I mean, you can tell me about your other modalities in a minute, but I can imagine right now that must have been a tough thing for you, because it'd be like, well, I've got what you're trying to say, that I just do nothing then, and I just be the conduit.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get my mind around it.
Yeah.
But I was having a process as I was getting to where I needed to be.
Right.
I had to do plenty of meditation. I was doing meditation. I was doing a lot of breath work. That also helped. And basically, it was basically trusting the universe. We all say, let's trust the universe. We got to trust the universe. But honestly, and on heart, how many of us really do trust the universe?
Well, it's very difficult to do because of our programming and the ego that we've created through our life or through our experience. I think it's extremely difficult to just let go, because that's ultimately what you're asking, or source is asking you to do. It's just to not be Andrew Harby.
That's right.
The Andrew Harby that you have created through your personal experience, your personal reality. That's your character. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm not Andrew Harby now.
That's it. Yeah, you're right there. You hit the nail right on the head there. It's like you're taking away the label.
Yeah.
You got to realize who we truly really are.
Yes.
When we come to this earth plane, we come as an energy source.
That's right. Yeah.
And when we come as an energy source, we have no label.
Yeah, exactly. When you're that baby, when you're born within that vessel, that spark is there, but you're not that baby. You're not that meat suit of that baby, should I say? That's not your true self.
No.
The brain, the intelligence that's there isn't ready for the world yet.
Right.
But that spark is there.
But you got to. But then you say that the intelligence of the world isn't there. But that's the beauty of it. Look at a baby when it's first born.
Yeah.
You will see the true essence of who we truly really are, because they're looking around. They're not seeing like chairs. They're not seeing people. They're seeing vibration.
Yes.
And when they start seeing this vibration, they're like in awe. They still think that they're still at home before they came onto this planet.
Yeah, because you've not been programmed yet.
That's it. You're not even programmed at all yet.
Yeah.
But soon we start to say, oh, this is food. This is a spoon. Don't do that. That's naughty. You shouldn't be doing that. Straight away, we're putting labels on this consciousness, what is pure. But then we're taking the purity away from the actual consciousness, who we truly are. And that's what we got to look at. That's what we got to show people, who they really are. They're not this labels. When I do talks, I talk about the labels a lot. And I love doing talks. I actually get excited. When I first started, I was a bit nervous. But now I get so excited. I love talking in front of the camera. I love getting out there in front of people, because I love challenging people.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. Challenge the person who you're talking to. Make the audience a part of the talk. It's not about, look what I can do. Aren't I a clever boy? It's like, look what I can do. You can do too.
Absolutely.
If you do this steps. But your first thing, are you prepared to take the labels away?
Yeah, no, it's very interesting what you're saying, because it's so I went through a period, and some of the viewers, our regular viewers, will know a bit of my story, so I had a pub during the crazy period of 2020 and 21 and 22, and I felt quite poorly towards the end of it, because I stood against everything and stood in my own truth, if you like, and refused to. And I created an area for people to come and enjoy, no matter what. I weren't going to anyway. Anyway, I felt quite poorly, but I had this phone call when I fell there. We lost the pub, we lost the businesses and everything else, and I was in a real dark place. And I had a phone call from a gentleman in Scotland who had been to the pub all the way from Inverness to Lancashire one night for a talk. I didn't remember him, but he rang me out of the blue when someone had told him I wasn't very well. And the first thing he said to me was, you need to remember who you are.
Right.
And that was the first thing he said on the phone. And it became a process of self-healing for me over a period of months then, to actually recognize and strip back my subconscious programming and find true self-love for the essence of actually who I am, that I'm not Anthony Critchley. That is just a character that I've played throughout my experience due to various other programs and the the environment and your upbringing and whatever. So you create this persona, but it's not you, not your true you.
No, that's so true. It's never you. You know, it's like, I'm Andrew Harby. People call me Andrew Harby. Frequency 101. Okay. But I'm not that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm the planets, I'm the stars, I'm everything. What people gotta realize is everything around us is vibration.
Yeah.
Everything around us is information, light, who we are.
Yeah.
And we got to the chair what we're sitting in now, and we're that. You know what I mean? We are that. Because if you think about it, it started with 3 steps, this chair has. And it started with a thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first thing, it started with a thought. Then it was like a dream.
Yeah.
Then the action took place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything, like if you think about it, the most powerfulest number is 3.
The Trinity.
Exactly. Because everything happens in 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so right. I mean, and anyone who's into science, I suppose, rather than the spiritual essence of things, would probably look down the route of a quantum mechanics kind of
That's
thing.
right.
You know, you can look into the fact that everything does vibrate, nothing is solid. There's a field there that can be manipulated through thought, if you like. So yeah, you thought, then you dream, and then the creation. So we are co-creators of this reality.
It's like our thoughts. Okay, everybody thinks their thoughts are in here.
Yeah,
they're not. They're out here.
Yeah,
right. Because if you have a thought, if you have a bad thought or anything, you can actually feel the density around you.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. You can
actually feel the density around you, and you got to think as well, we're like walking Velcro, man. We're actually like walking Velcro. Every time we come across somebody, we're taking their energy on, and they're taking our energy on.
Yeah.
We're taking their labels on. We get up in the morning, we've created our night beforehand. We get up in the morning, we're nice and happy and everything else, and we go out into the world. We go shopping, we go to work and everything else. We're happy.
Yeah.
But soon we get to a different place, our emotions start to change. Our frequency starts to change. Our light starts to change.
Yeah.
So then what happens is we are then interconnecting with other spiritual beings what are not knowing who they really are. Yes. And all they think is that they are labels. Then we're taking that home with us. But the fact is, there's hardly any of us out there what really know how to give it back.
No, this again due to the programming as well. That's the thing, and there's a lot of hefty programs that as individuals we do go through, which that's why there's so much stress in the world and so much depression, because of the environments that have been created around us to keep us in a low vibrational state.
Yeah.
And once you do recognize or find your true essence, or at least recognize that there's something there, not here,
No.
like you say, but here and around, then your life does start to change, because you're vibrating on a different level then.
You're vibrating on a much higher level.
Yeah.
You're vibrating on the highest consciousness you are, and that is God.
Absolutely.
You know, when you talk to people and you say you are God, they go, "What are you talking about? We're God. We're not God. We're this and that and the other." No. If you drop dead now, and I drop dead now, with both our consciousness will join together and be one.
Yeah.
And we'll be back home where we're meant to be. We're only here to experience.
Absolutely.
Our soul has to experience so many different things. And it's weird, really. It's like it is a game.
It is.
People say life isn't a game, but it is a game. It's a game for the soul, because the soul wants to just be able to take the information all the time about different things. You know, the soul, before it comes down, makes contracts with other souls to say, right, I want to experience this. Who's going to step forward to experience? Who's going to do this to me so I can experience this? And the soul's going to step forward and say, I will.
Yeah.
You know, and they do, and we get it every day. It's like, nah, and we arranged this before we even started doing this.
It's like an easy way for people to recognize what you're saying there is, every drop of water is still, part of the ocean, if you like. It's
Exactly.
We're all drops, we're fragments of source, but we're all source.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's like, it's how we use source.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like when I do my healing, I let the person experience what they need to experience. They say to me, "Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?" I say, "Do you know what? I don't know what's going to happen."
I love it.
It's just beautiful that I don't want to know what happens, because I don't want to be involved in that labeling.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because soon I say to them, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, then they're going to come out of it, well, that never happened. You know what I mean? But then it's going to make me look like a right bogus idiot. And everything else. So I'm like saying, no, I don't know what's happened. All I'm going to say is that you are so unique. You are so precious. All you're saying to God's consciousness of who you are is saying, thank you for the teaching. Thank you for the experience. Now I can give it you back. I say, and soon you say that you can have it back, that's when your soul's going to open up and say, right, that's gone back now. What else can I experience? So your soul's not being full. So we're not making ourselves sick.
Yeah.
We're releasing it back. So we're stopping the illness.
Yeah.
The trouble is, we pile everything on. It's like a big road pounding drill where it just jackhammer sort of thing. It goes like this, you know what I mean? And it's like emotions jackhammering it into our body. And it's like people said, oh, I feel so ill. I feel that. Yeah, but you created it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you turn around and you say that's somebody who wants to suck you right in the mouth, I tell you, they do. But the fact is, it's the truth. You created that. So if you created it, why can't you get rid of it?
Yeah, 100%. It's like, physical disease, coming from, generally coming from your environment and your surroundings and your programming, and you can, in stress, you could create your own death, your own demise. If you so, that's the danger of stress. It's a very, very dangerous thing to deal with, So if you can create that, and you can create that illness, but you can also clear it.
Yeah.
You know, so
words have a massive impact.
Huge to carry frequency.
Yeah, carry a hell of a lot of big impact. It's like happens in threes. Thought is steam. Okay, just like a kettle. Okay, steam comes out of a kettle. What happens to that when it hits the air? It's the pressure. It turns into a liquid.
Yeah.
Okay. The liquid is the water within our bodies. Then, if we left that liquid for a long time, it goes stagnant.
Yeah.
Now, the liquid is representing our emotions. And if we don't deal with our emotions, the liquid then turns stagnant. Then it turns into an illness, a tumor, cancerous, whatever it's going to turn into. That's what it can turn into. But we have the power to stop that process from happening. But the fact is, we're being shut down all the time when we talk like this, because we're not meant to be doing this spiritual inner work. It's about them controlling us. And all I can say, guys, when you listen to this, stop the controlling, start looking within, and start being who you truly really are.
Well, this is the thing. If enough people were doing their own inner work and their own self-healing, then Big Pharma would have a problem, wouldn't it? So that they wouldn't want that, because there's no profit in cure,
No,
as we know, and that's unfortunately that's the realm that we are in, and we're here to navigate.
that's it.
We're here to raise consciousness anyway.
Yes.
There are a number of souls on this planet for sure that are doing that work, and more are waking up to that as well, day by day. It's a fascinating time to be here, I think, really.
It's an amazing time to be here. Tribes are now finding each other.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? All different tribes, all spiritual clusters, we're all coming together.
Yeah.
And I was at an event the other day at the Albion Football Club.
Right.
Open Harmony event. I tell you something, it was fantastic. It was awesome.
Was it?
The amount of people what came, beautiful people what came, the vendors what are there, what are so beautiful, and believe it or not, I was just across the way from somebody, and there's in my same town, and I never even blew and seen them before. and it's absolutely amazing how we're all starting now to come together. And we was talking then, saying people are awakening, but still people need to know who they are to awaken a lot further.
Yeah.
We listen to too much stuff what's out on the internet. A lot of the stuff isn't true. A lot of the stuff out there is to do with controlling as well, because even when we're doing spiritual work, there's always somebody out there who wants to try and control you spiritually as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to do your inner work. You've got to look deep inside. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. But if it feels right, then go with it and find out what the universe can provide you for. So
there's definitely a thing about that, Andrew, about it, trusting. Again, they say trust in your gut, and a lot of people don't do that.
No.
A lot of people, and I did for most of my adult life, if you like, just consciously and acting on instinct most of the time, and reacting rather than sitting back and feeling through it. That's why the Native Americans had what they call Indian time, where there was a problem in the tribe. They could take them months to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
They would sit on it. And it's resting and listening to the body, because the body tells you a lot of things.
The body does tell you a hell of a lot of things. It's like a frequency and antenna.
It is
really, and it does tell you a lot of things. But if we look at the past to the present now, the past, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have the internet. People use their gut instinct a lot more then,
They did. Yeah, it was a
but
simple.
It's like now they don't. They just want to press buttons now.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't need to go into agendas, obviously, because we know where they're heading with all the tech, you know, or where they want to take humanity with tech. But I mean, tech can be used for good as well, but it's down to the right soul that's got hold of
That's right.
that tech to use it for good. It's like anything, isn't it? You know, you can have a knife to put butter on your bread, or you can use it to stab someone. It's not the knife's fault.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm interested, Andrew, on you, the label, Andrew, the character, Andrew. So what brought you to this? Were you your childhood? Were you somebody that was in already kind of a caring individual growing up? Did you have influences that took you on that path, or did that come later on?
That came later on. When I was really young, I used to be a
Yeah.
very caring lad. Everybody used to like me and be friends with me. But when I started going to school, I started getting bullied.
Oh, right. Okay.
And when I got bullied at school, I had to harden up.
Yeah.
And then it got to the art. Then it's like I had to put another layer of skin and armor on me, so nobody could basically penetrate through me.
Yeah.
And as that got tougher, I started to change, and I started to change as a person, but I wasn't very nice at. You know, I used to then conflict pain on people because that made me feel like I had a sense of power.
Yeah, the ego comes in, though. That's the part of the challenge of the game that we're in.
Yeah.
And
it did come in big time.
Yeah.
And I hurt a lot of people, and we'd be doing that. You know, my body started to change, my reaction started to change, my frequency started to change. I started to smoke, started to take drugs, I started, you know, do silly things, fight all the time, wanted to go out and try and look for a fight all the time. And then growing up a bit older, and then I went into being a warehouse person, working in the butchers, being a salesman. I had so many different jobs, so many. You know, I always kept on getting fired all the time. That's why I couldn't keep a job down for 5 minutes, I tell you.
You weren't like, doing that, Andrew, though.
No, it was like at school, you know, I never went to school, but yet, with me not going to school, I've made a better person than I would have been at school.
We got out of the indoctrination camp. That's the thing.
Yeah, it really did. And then I started with smoking and drinking and everything else. I made myself sick.
Right.
And I was a truck driver. I was driving trucks and that, loving the job. And it got to the stage where I was actually getting out of breath, climbing it in and out of my truck. And I was in my early 40s, for Pete's sake.
Right.
You know, and the doctors are saying, you know, you're suffering with lung disorder, OCPD, whatever it is. You know. And they're saying you got asthma. Then they try to put me on a CPAP machine and stuff like this. And I thought, cool, this is really bad. And my sister thought I was going to die.
Right.
She really thought I was going to go. And that really hit her hard. Yeah. And so I had to go and do some training. I kept on what it was in the early times when I was driving. I was what we call a tramper, basically. Was like we had to stay in our trucks at night. Whereas like working from Monday to Friday, and on Friday that's when we finished work. But we stayed in our trucks overnight. Yeah. And I had my laptop and everything. I thought, what am I going to do? I was watching movies and I was getting bored of watching movies. But then healing, I kept on watching stuff on YouTube, healing things, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought, this looks quite good. It's quite interesting. And I was watching these guys. I was watching like Quantum Touch, Pranic Healing, watching Star Magic, like Jerry Sargent and that sort of stuff. And I was watching it and I was thinking, I was looking at the American stuff, the pranic healing, the quantum touch and all that. I'm thinking, $3,000. I ain't got that sort of money to learn that.
Yeah.
But I kept on watching it. But something kept on saying, you don't need to train in it. You know it.
Right. Okay.
I thought, okay, how do I know it?
Yeah.
So I kept on watching it and watching it and watching it. Then I started just going to people and trying it on them, and I was eating people, and it was just craziness, and I was loving it. And then I thought, yeah, this is really good. Then I started to get really unwell, and I thought, right. Then there's one guy what kept on popping out, and that was Jerry Sargent with Star Magic. And it's like I kept on pushing it away, and it kept on coming back to me, and I kept on pushing it away and coming back to me. And it's like the universe saying, you've got to go and do this training. Stop messing about and get it sorted.
Yeah.
So I went and did the training. And that in itself is a profound moment in my life I am never, ever going to forget.
Wonderful.
His training was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The bloke himself is phenomenal.
Right.
Because he set me free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know, like you're that caged bird, and so you're waiting for somebody just to open that door, and you're that white dove, and you know that you need to be free. That's what he did to me.
Lovely. That's beautiful.
And I went there. I went on his training at sign a declaration form, and I thought, whoa, this is going to be pretty intense. Really, really intense. I just thought was just going to do a few meditations, jump around a bit, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of his meditations, and his meditations was really nice, really good. And the turnaround says to me, oh, by the way, we need to work on you. I went, what? Work on me? What do you mean work on me? What do you mean by this? So you find out tomorrow or the day after. I went, okay. And what it was, with me struggling to breathe, I had a Theic Implants. Like this Theic implant, if no one don't know, it's like an energy source.
Yeah.
What's been put on you. It could be put on you from thought process or whatever, or it could be put on for you from past lives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I had this being put on me, and there's a cage.
Right.
And this cage basically was squeezing my etheric body into like nothingness.
Right.
So in other words, I was like suffocating in my own energy. Okay. Jerry says, right, you got boob traps on you and that lot as well. So in other words, they had to be careful the way they worked on me, because if they triggered something else in me, I could have had a heart attack and that could have been me gone. So people had to know what they was doing. They had to know what they're seeing, and if you actually had to know what they needed to take out, what to do. So what Jerry did, he worked on my aura field and got this cage like off me. Then he dropped me down to the floor. Then the universe then works on you. Then he gets his team then. What Jerry had a team. These beautiful people. And they'll always be in my debt for the rest of my life. I mean, I love these people so, so much.
Yeah.
Because they set me free. I was that bird in that cage. And they set me free. And what happened was, they started working on me, and they said I had a device on my head.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to get this control panel off. It's like I was being controlled from another dimension.
Right.
And the turned around and said they didn't know how to get it off. So they had to think how to get it off. And they thought about making like a green or blue liquid, whatever, and imagine putting it on. Because your imagination is your reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they imagined all this, and they just seen it like shrinking away. And when it did, my head went back, and the rest of the room was about 20 of us in that room. Heard me doing a blood curdling scream, like a
Really?
blinking entity came out of me.
Wow.
And I mean, it really came out of me, mate. I was that exhausted. I drank 3 bottles of water straight after.
Wow.
And it really took a hit on me. It really did.
Yeah.
But from that time, it changed. It's like we was doing the meditations and everything. And the meditations come real. I was standing up, doing meditations, actually meditating, standing up.
Yeah.
And Dave was doing this meditation, and he actually recorded me. I had my arms round a dragon called Gregory, what he uses in his meditations.
Right.
And it felt like I was there with the dragon itself, and he was knocking his head against mine. And apparently he's got me filming me bashing my head against this dragon like this, playing. And it's like, then it pulled his head back. The dragon had deep blue eyes, black body.
Yeah.
And it looked at me and says, "You've had enough hurt now. It's time to play."
Nice.
And I thought, wow, it was unbelievable. But that wasn't just a finishing touch. And my life really changed that week, because you must have done cacao.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a cacao ceremony.
Yeah.
On his training, and we're doing a lot of breath work and everything else, a lot of chanting. We got the frequency that high, and
Yeah.
they had to check the sound system. You know why? Because the girls what was on the far side of the room, I thought that they were singing, and
Really?
they wasn't singing.
Right.
And I've got a picture on my website and everything else of this.
Yeah.
And I show the picture on my banner when I do events. And I've shown another picture of it so people can have a really good look at it.
Yeah.
And what it was, there's one singing, a choral singing, and it was beautiful. It was really nice. It was very angel-like.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
1, 2, about 5, then about 10. Somebody then took a photo of it. It was in pitch black, took a photo with a phone. And do you know what was above me? A flock of angels was all above us all.
Wow.
Orbs everywhere.
Wow.
Spiritual beings in the room at the side of us.
Beautiful.
And they had a light coming from an angel coming straight into my chest. And that's when it changed.
I bet it changed. That would have been a huge about turn for you, that, isn't it? So your physical being would have been vibrating on a completely different level straight after that.
And then after everything like that, I started then to look into about my past lives and everything else. And as I went with my partner to find out my past lives, who I adore. She's I tell you, mate, she's my world.
It's great, that, eh?
She's encouraged me on this path so much.
Yeah, it's lovely when you've got that.
am.
It's lovely when you've got that, Andrew. I'm very lucky as well in that respect, that my partner's the same. She's my best friend, and she will, if I say, right, I'm going to do this, if I was saying I'm going to climb Mount Everest, she'll just go, great.
Same as mine. Same as mine. Go ahead and do it. We'll see when you come back.
Yeah. Which is lovely, because I had a marriage where it was the complete opposite, so I know exactly what it's like on both sides, So mate, I'm very blessed.
I had a marriage, then I had a relationship for 16 years.
Yeah.
But this woman I'm with now, she's everything.
It allows you to flourish, though.
Yes, it does.
It allows you to grow.
You needed those experiences, Ant. The fact is, we went through those lives. with these other people because they had to show us where we are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Don't forget, we made contracts with them before we came down, you know.
I know, this is it. Yeah.
You know,
But
it's
I'm
so
very
easy.
grateful for that. But I went through, when I was doing my self-healing, Andrew, that was a big process of me, was doing my shadow work and also analysing my past, if you like, the stories that I'd created and why I'd done it and the people that had influenced me negatively or positively. But I was able to, after a period of time, forgive not just them, but myself also, and send love. And that set me free, you know, because I was carrying big boulders in a rucksack that I kept collecting over the years. You know, it's another trauma, boom, another rucksack, another boulder, boom, boom, and it weighs you down.
It does,
so yeah, so I, you know, through my own process, I was able to release all that. But yeah, there is, you know, like you said, we, you know, if you believe in soul contracts and things like that, then yes, we decided this kind of path for our growth, and we would have chosen these souls to come in contact with, be it your parents, be it your friends, be it your loved ones, whatever, and the part of our growth. It's but that's I think, you know, when you recognize that, though, Andrew, I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel that allows me freedom as well, because I can trust the process a bit more, knowing that the challenges that are going to come, because I'm not going to be without challenges in this experience, but I can analyze them better, look at them. Why am I getting that challenge? Why am I feeling this way? You know, and sit back a little bit more rather than reacting, because that's what you generally do. So anyway, I won't take over, because this is all about you, not me. You know.
No, I'll tell you something, and it's great. What this podcast is about us sharing. Okay, it's about us being natural. It's not just about me. It's about you. It's about everybody out there. Okay, what listens to this podcast. You know what I mean? It's about us being unison with one. So please don't apologize about that, man. I'm loving listening to your stories, and I'm loving this chat so much. There's so much more we're going to be talking about.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, I'm keen to know now what happens to the character Andrew from this moment.
This character Andrew now is starting to really dissolve.
Right.
Andrew is now fading into the background.
Okay.
Now it's the spiritual essence now of universal consciousness, what is now coming to the foreplay, if you like to say, to the forefront. And I just want to tell you just a little bit more about the journey, what's made me get to where I am. If that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, please.
When we, like I said, we went about past lives.
Yeah.
We went to see a lady, and she's absolutely phenomenal. I won't say a name on here, but I will send you the information. So if you want to put it onto your webpage and that lot, then if you know people who might want it, then you can pass it on to them. Because
please do.
This woman is, she's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable,
wonderful,
and she's got a place in a beautiful setting in the Cotswolds as well. What's really, really nice. And she looks at past lives, but she don't do past lives like she hypnotizes you, takes you into past life.
Yeah.
She'll talk to you, then all of a sudden she'll go, "Bush, this is what happened," and she'll get you back into that past life again, and you will actually feel from that time again. Wow. And it's amazing, because when I went to see her, we were talking about Jesus and everything else and everything else, and she says, "I've got something to say to you." She goes, "What's that?" She says, "I'm going to take you back now," because she was around at the Jesus times.
Right.
I went, "Okay." She says, "He's basically second in command of the crucifixion. You know that, don't you?"
God.
I went, "What?" She says, you basically was a second in command of crucifixion, and she took me back. And when she was talking, it's like I was there, mate. And I tell you what, it was the most distressing time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even now, I get choked up about it when I think about it.
Yeah.
It really, really was a distressing time for me to know that I was in second in command, and I did that to Yeshua Ben Joseph.
Yeah.
And you know, it took a lot. It really, really took a lot. And as you can see, I make myself quite vulnerable here.
Yeah, but that's what we're here to be. We're here to be vulnerable.
Because of the feelings and emotions, and it took me a long time.
Yeah.
And I had to do some really inner work, basically, to forgive myself. And I found out the people who I'm living with at the moment, at the present time, they had to do with my past lives and that lot as well, and I had to do a lot of soul healing for those people, for myself, so they could move on into an essence. So like my dad, he passed away.
Yeah.
But before he passed away, we made peace.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't very close, really. We should have been, but it's me, my ego, what stopped that from happening.
Yeah.
And he's ill. And when he's quite ill, I went to his side and I helped with his partner, who's a beautiful woman who looked after my dad so much.
Yeah.
And cared for him in his hour of need, and everything, kept him at home, made sure he passed away at home. And when he gone, that's when I knew I was more than I am.
Really? So an awakening as such from there as well.
Yeah.
Right.
We talk about being awakened, but it's things like that what make you feel. You know that you've been awakened, because you don't grieve the same way as everybody else does.
Yeah.
You grieve in a different way. We grieve of the loss of the person who has a laugh and a joke and everything else. But the ones that are awakened, we celebrate for the soul going back home, because it's not in pain anymore.
Yeah,
the difference. That's the difference. And so that really made me know who I started to be. And then we started doing these mind, body, spirit events. Then someone says to me, Andrew, you need to look after yourself as well. It's like you're looking after these other people with their souls and everything else. What about you? And I had a sound bath, and after I had one of those, I felt absolutely phenomenal. These guys just playing these pipes and everything. I just started crying. I walked out of the room and I started sobbing. I thought, what the hell am I sobbing for? What the hell's happening here?
It's releasing, isn't it? You're releasing all that.
Yeah. And I was releasing a hell of a lot. And then someone says, you've got to look after yourself. So there's a lady in our town who I go and see on a regular basis. There's other people I could go and see, but I'm not allowed to go and see them. It's like she's been put in my path for me to go and see her.
Yeah. To
make it so she can do her work, because she channels the same.
Okay.
She channels from source as well. I'd access bars. And access bars is where they put the hands around the back of your head and they start tuning into parts of your head and around the back of your ears. And around the back of your ears here, apparently that's where you store all your negative programs and everything else.
Oh, right. Okay.
And when I went to see her, she says, you haven't got no programs there. I can't find anything. It's very unusual. You can't find anything. And I said, well, things have happened and I've released things. And she says, it's amazing. You're the first bloke I've come across who hasn't got anything programmed there. So she started then messing around with other parts of the head.
Yeah.
And then she says, you took me into a sci-fi movie. I said, what do you mean I took you to a sci-fi movie? She says, you took me to another dimension.
Right.
He says, I saw different planets. I saw all this space. And she says, then I saw no end of spaceships around you.
Yeah.
I went, okay. But before then, there's a lady who I used to go, who I saw at one of the Mind Spirit events. And she says, I've tuned into you. I wasn't meant to, but I just wanted to see if you're the real deal. And she's a medium sort of thing.
Okay.
I went, okay. She says, what you don't realize is you got something on your head right there. and it's like a symbol.
Yeah.
I went, okay. She says, so when you take people to the gateway of the universe,
yeah,
she says, you're the only one who can do it.
Right. Okay.
Says, you're the only one who's allowed to do it. I went, okay. But I've had a few people now tell me that.
Wow.
So things really have changed for me.
I bet they have. Can I ask? Sorry to interrupt. Can I ask? Because I know when I had my own sort of awakening process, and you start vibrating on a different level, obviously. Now, what was apparent to me was friendships started to break apart.
Cool, right, yeah.
You know, relationships were breaking apart. People, you don't resonate the same anymore. So was that the same for you? I mean, I can see you're nodding.
It was a big, massive thing for me. It really was. Relationships did break up and everything. Like when we done Jerry's work, he turned around, he says, get ready. He says, you're going to come in as you are. But it says, when you leave, you're going to be totally reborn.
Yeah.
And we did. And he says, relationships will break up. People will break away from you because they won't want to be in the same vibration as you. They won't be able to understand you.
That's right.
You know, and that did happen. After 16 years relationship, that broke up.
Yeah.
And friends started to go away. I wasn't drinking anymore. I wasn't interested in being in those circles anymore.
Yeah.
And I started to love me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know, it's like we always say to people, I love you.
Yeah.
We care about you. But most of us just use the words. We don't actually use actual feeling, what's involved. Because if we did, it means that you're loving yourself. If you love yourself, you automatically spread the love.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah.
The people feel it. You don't have to tell them.
Yeah. You can spread it. Just send it out from your heart center. You can.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So a lot of things did change for me. Yeah.
Oh,
Jobs changed. You know.
But you can't be in that world anymore either. I found. You know, it's like you can't do that regular job anymore because you're not meant to either. I tried doing a regular job when the pub shut, and it made me ill. It made me more. I was already ill. It made me worse. It's like the universe gave me a kick up the ass and said, "You're not supposed to be doing this." You know what I mean? You need to stop.
Yeah, I'm still getting the kick in now, mate. Trust me.
Yeah,
I really am getting the kick in now from the universe. You know, because I'm during the day, I'm a driving instructor, and I help young kids out and everything. And it's surprising how the youth today are so stressed and suffer with anxiety and everything else. And it's the devices what they're using. They don't know how to communicate with each other anymore. And that's the sort of people I want to reach out to. I've got a bunch of friends now, hypnotherapists and counselors, friend who's come out of the army. I've got a beautiful friend who's a teacher and stuff like this, and I've got herbalists and everything else, and we're all coming together. And we're like, you know, we're trying to build something so we can say, you know, this is what we want to do. And we want to reach out for the youth. We want to try and get into the schools and talk to the schools. But that in itself is hard to do.
Oh, it will be.
Because they are programmed again.
Of course they are.
So we have to try and catch them. I had a young man not the other week. He knows what I do at the weekend.
Yeah.
And he's doing a syllabus on something. And he says, will you come into my sixth form and give us a talk and talk to us what you actually do? I'll have a word with the teachers and we'll try and get you into our school so you can help us because we need the help.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's really, really nice. And I thought, you know, there's nothing more I'd love to do.
Yeah.
Like eventually I do want to say goodbye to the driving. And all I want to do is do work with the universe. Because like I says, what happened to me at the crucifixion, going back to that.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do when I found out about that was put things right. And that putting them things right was working for the universe. And I kept on pleading and pleading and pleading to work for the universe. I mean, really, really work. Not just say it and not do it. Do it and let it rip me apart in the process. Let it turn me inside out. Let it tip me upside down. Give me a good shake and say, right, you really want to work for me. This is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Don't just say it. If you're going to do it, do it. So that's what I do now. And it's the most biggest rewarding thing I've ever achieved in my entire life.
That's amazing. Can I ask you about the healing that you do now? And you were saying that Source basically has tapped you on the shoulder and said, right, you need to be doing this. So what's your process in getting out of the way? Because we still have our egos, you know, it isn't easy to do. So are you able just to switch off? How does it work with you?
I could switch off really quick.
Can you? Yeah.
Really quick. It's like, you're on there now. Let's do it.
Go on then. Let's do it.
Yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
I'm game. I'm game.
Okay. Right. So just close your eyes and you'll start to feel something. Tell me when you start feeling it.
Okay.
You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
So straight away you're feeling a pulling.
I am. I'm feeling it's funny, I'm feeling a pulling from here. From the chest area.
Now just sit with it a minute. See where else it goes.
It's like I've got it's sort of spinning around my eyes, but around my head. I can feel the pulling from my eyes and my temples.
If you're feeling this, Ant, when people watch this video, they'll also feel it. Because time don't exist.
No.
So now that's it. Now just open your eyes. Just open your eyes now, my friend.
Yeah, nice and peaceful.
But
this is the thing about time and space, if you like, you know, when you're working with energy, it's like, I know when I've done Reiki in a distance Reiki, as they would label it.
Yeah.
It's extremely powerful.
It's very fast, isn't it?
It's incredible, you know, and I've had I don't class myself, I'm not a medium, I'm not psychic or whatever else, but when I started doing Reiki, I started to gain messages in my third eye when I had my eyes closed. So I was able to pass messages to the individual, but I could do that at distance as well. And it was one of those, it was just fascinating for me. I was like, well, where's this all come from?
Yeah.
I can't deny it because the experience is there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you just felt that, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt, like I said, there was a pull from my heart center, and then when I had my eyes closed, it was like a pull on my temple on my thing, but it was almost like there was something spinning around my head, and that's how it felt there. It was really pleasant.
It's getting like if we left it there for about 15 minutes to half an hour.
Yeah.
If there's anything what needed working on your body, then it's like I had my medical team. They'd come out then and started to do the work on you.
It's the quantum thing, though. Again, it's and there's no doubt in it works. There's absolutely no doubt.
I just like I can shut off so easy. See,
I'm impressed by that because I find it very difficult to switch off. I'm so fat. My brain works like that, where I'm so fascinated. Like if I'm doing a treatment on someone and I start getting messages through, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I can't wait to tell the client that kind of thing.
The thing with me, it's like you can't wait to tell the client. It's like I can't wait to get the report back from the client what's been happening. Because it's like, they're saying, oh, this has happened, this happened, that's happened. I felt like a pull of ear. I felt like a surging around here, and I've had just alone with that alone, I've had people for about 2 hours basically on the floor just flinching away like this while the universe is working on them, and it's cleared a lot of what.
What's when we talk about labels, though, Andrew, because we, like I say, I attune to angelic Reiki. I still just see that as a label. Yes, you have a certain process to start your Reiki session, if you like. But what do you call what you do? I know you call it frequency 101.
Right, it's frequency 101, but believe it or not, was given another name to it just recently, actually, and it's called Sacred Silence Healing.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Sacred Silence Healing, we call it now, because it is to do with consciousness of the sacredness. It is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
The Father is the consciousness.
Yeah.
The Son is us.
Yeah.
It's not Jesus, it's us, because the consciousness, universal consciousness, is within us.
Exactly.
So we're the Son.
Yeah.
And the Holy Spirit is the soul of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are 3 in 1. When people hear that and say, well, what do you think with Jesus? Yeah, you are. If you want to say so, yeah, you are. Because Jesus was a normal human being just like you are. But he just knew how to use and listen to his highest consciousness, his proper Father, how to help others. And that's what we need to do.
But that's the Christ consciousness, isn't it? And it's an interesting concept. And I know that, Christians would certainly struggle with this because, and I understand why they would, but when you have strong beliefs, it's not easy to.
Well, I was there. I was there, mate. I was the Salvation Army.
Right. Okay. So again, with programming, you get cognitive dissonance, and and actually trying to narrow that to something else, move that to something, is very difficult to do. But there was, I can't remember who I was talking to, and it would resonate with me completely, where they say about the second coming, and it is actually the second coming is us as a collective when we get to understanding our Christ consciousness and raising that up. And that's how we change the world.
Exactly, by being one together.
Yeah, exactly. The unity.
Finding out who we really are.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
It's like as well. the process, what I do, I talk to the universe before I do any work.
Yeah.
I introduce the person back to Christ consciousness. And I say to them, just remove what needs to be removed.
Yeah.
And heal and go to the deepest root cause. And so you say that, that's when you start seeing things really change. Because we may think like we have issues, problems, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But with that being issues and problems, okay, we need to know where they're actually coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we give them a label, but Christ consciousness takes that label away. Just
Yeah.
so quick, just like that.
It's trusting the source, isn't it? That's the thing. It's just, it's you're removing the ego for that period of time.
Know what ego stands for?
Go on.
Edging God out.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. My friend Kev, who I work with on the Drake Michigan project. Now, there's a few reasons. A lot of people ask why it's called Drake Michigan, and Kev is a very, very good medium. He's and one of his spirit guides is called Benjamin Drake.
Okay.
And Michigan itself, we've not quite worked out exactly why that is, but the name Drake Michigan's been around for about 15 years. We talked about doing this project a long time ago. I forget where I'm going with all this, but ultimately, yeah, ultimately we're on a process of trying to find answers of why Kev has mediumship gifts, if you like, where that comes from, but trusting the process as well of letting go, and also recognizing how to manifest a better life as well while you're here, a better experience while you're here. So raising your vibration and removing some of those programs, and finding your true essence, raising your vibration, finding self-love, then you start seeing a better reality for yourself, because the programs can be so dangerous to you.
And we've got all that in place already.
We have, but let's let it go.
All it is, it's not about the teaching, it's about the knowing.
It is about, you're right, you're so right, it is about
you know what I mean. It's not about the teaching can always have something added on.
Yes.
Yeah. Every time we taught something, somebody puts their little bit on, then somebody teaches it again, and then they put their little bit on, then somebody's teaching again, they put their little bit on.
Well, it's Chinese whispers.
But with it being knowing, you can't add no bit on, because it's consciousness. It's the knowing.
Yeah.
All it is, like when we talk about the abundance and everything else, we are abundant. What we got to do is we got to say thank you and be grateful what you've received. Like, thank you for the teaching. If somebody hurts you, there's no point thinking that you're going to go and hurt them back. There's a teaching in that.
Yeah, there is.
There's a knowing on that. So you turn around and say, well, what have I learned from that?
Exactly.
I've learned this and learned this. Thank you for the teaching. Great. What can I now give back to my father then? To help me go even further.
It's about expansion, isn't it? That's the thing. It's about growth. It
is.
And giving back is so important, I find, as well. Being a service.
Right. Yeah. You got to be what it is. If we looked at each other as we all God, we wouldn't be fighting one another.
No, of course not. No.
You know what I mean? And that's what we got to do. This is what people find that word God so scary, because it's been programmed in us for it to be scary.
It's
God will strike you down. God will do this. God will do
programming.
that. But we've got a God what loves us. How can we have a God what's going to strike us down if he loves us that much that he's giving us this experience of humanity on this planet?
100%.
He can't.
You brought me back to where my point was going before. Now, Kev during a period of meeting I think it was a dream he had, and he met somebody in a dream, and this person talked about God, and he was like saying God. He said, "Well, what do you think the giver of dimensions means?" And that's what.
Wow.
That's what he. The
I've
message.
you know what?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that, brother. I tell you, that is amazing. It's like, that's what I love about these, like when you do these podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't get the teaching from somebody else. We get the knowing from somebody else.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it?
That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I really do love that. That is absolutely, yeah.
So it's a journey. This is the thing, isn't it, Andrew? You know, it's a beautiful journey. And like you say, the challenges that you do come across, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure we've all had our fair share of challenges that have made us feel pretty crappy. But when you can get to that point of gratitude, like you say, there's a massive power in being grateful, especially for the challenges. If you can put gratitude and love back into that, as hard as that challenge has been, and you go, well, thank you so much for that lesson, and I've learned from that, then that allows you to grow even further. So
it does, because all you're doing is, by showing gratitude and by acceptance, is love.
Exactly. Well, there's two things.
You're just showing love to the other person. You're saying, like, somebody comes up to me and goes, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that," whatever, blah blah blah. But if I started arguing back at them, then it's their ego then what comes out again, tries to bite you again. But if you turn around and you just turn around and they go, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Why did you cut off in front of me? Why did you do that?" If you just turn around and you said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that, but I realize now that I did that. Thank you for letting me know, and I'm very sorry." That'll just stop it, just like that. Because you haven't given that person any more energy, negative energy, for them to come back at you. If anything, you've took it on board that you made the mistake, you took the responsibility on, and you basically apologizing. But the fact is, you're not apologizing to that other person. You're apologizing to yourself because that other person is you.
It's like judgment. It's like, when you're judging, you're judging yourself, because it's a mirror a lot of the time. Everything's a mirror. So there's a lot of there's a lot of lessons in this school.
I tell you, mate, it's a beautiful school.
It is. It's a tough one, but it's
just going to keep on opening and opening and opening. It's just going to be like a black hole, man, because we don't know where it ends.
Yeah, no, we don't.
You know what I mean? So the knowing is like one big black hole. We don't know when it ends.
Speaking about things like in terms of the future and things like that. So, I mean, obviously, I know you're a busy man, so we haven't got much longer to go. So, Andrew, you tell me what's your next steps in what you're doing. I know you were saying that you want to stop the driving and you want to go more into doing a full-time healing. Have you got a plan to do that, or are you just letting everything unfold? How's that going to work out for you?
I'm working with friends at the moment. We're trying to get a training, like a training place really together to get people to be like-minded with us.
Yeah.
So we can help people in need. So it's going to be like a center. What we want to do is give a service out to people what are going to really, really need it. I'd love to do more talks about healing and about Christ consciousness and things like that.
Yeah.
But most of all, I want to serve.
Yeah. Well, you know that deep down, don't you? That's the thing. You know that deep down, and things will pave the way. I know everything is divine and divine timing. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Hence why letting go and trusting is part of the process, even though the ego goes, no.
That's right. I tell you, that ego's a pain in the backside, man.
Yeah. if we are in a game, though, Andrew, if this is a game, that's where the challenges are.
I know what.
That's where the challenges are, overcoming your ego. That is, that is the challenge. If you can let go and overcome your ego,
just give it back to God, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Yeah, God can look after this ego for a while, because sometimes he can be a right pain in the ass.
He can be a right pain in the arse, this ego can, but just give it back.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But you got to remember, we create this ego too.
Of course we do. But you can change it as well, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's one thing I recognized when I went through my own self-healing was the character Anthony Critchley was something that obviously isn't me, the true me. So I can be any character I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, well, what kind of character do I want to play? What parts of the character do I want to keep? And what parts of the character do I want to change? And who's to say I can't change as well, by the way, and that was a big thing for me. And people didn't like it.
Oh, people don't like it, mate. No.
They don't like it, because they want to hold on to what they had previously, because it affects their ego, you see.
Of course it does.
It affects their comfort zone. Where is this person that I was able to manipulate, for example? And you can't manipulate this person anymore because he's risen above that.
Yeah.
And it's not, don't get me wrong, it takes a little bit of work, but it is worth doing, because it does, like you were saying about freeing the bird out of the cage. And when you can free your mind, there's certainly no better part of freedom for me in terms of freeing yourself from the tyranny of your own mind kind of thing, because that's a big part of the program.
Your mind can be like a whirlpool.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
You know what I mean? It really can. But I just want to say, people out there, if you find it difficult to meditate, people listen to music and everything else, and the best way I found to meditate, and that is in complete silence. Get a candle, put it in front, stare at the candle, watch the flame dance, get in that moment of that dance, and just close your eyes. See that candle dance in your mind's eye, because you've got the photograph of it. You've just been taking a photo of it by looking at it. Then concentrate on your breath and let your breath move the flame.
Yeah, and you can certainly relax then.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Andrew, it's been beautiful talking to you today. And I look forward to hearing more from you in the future and how things progress. Do keep in touch. How do people get in touch with you? You got a website?
Yeah, I've got a website. Do you want me to say it over here, or do you want me to send you the details of it?
Do both, please. So if you say it and then
Okay, it's Andrew Freaksy 101.
Yeah.
And if they want to get in contact with me by email, it's andrew@andrewfrequency101.com.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrew. And keep up the great work, because everything you're doing, the ripple effects alone are changing the world for the better. Even this conversation alone changes the world, because that's how frequency works.
It certainly does. And all I can say, thank you, brother, for inviting me onto your podcast. And I will definitely be getting in contact with you again soon.
Yeah, keep in touch.
And I'll tell you all about the updates and everything else, what's going to be happening. Of course, we got big plans for Frequency 101.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
My Mrs. Brain never stops.
You need that drive sometimes. Yeah.
He definitely drives me okay.
Good. That's
Definitely.
good. Well, thank you so much, brother.
Okay, mate. I love you, and I
Love you,
love
mate.
everybody listening to this. And many blessings to you guys.